It was a cold and rainy kickoff on Saturday afternoon inside Kinnick Stadium.
The rain did hold off, though, for most of this Big Ten Conference battle between Iowa and Maryland.
It was a tale of two halves for both Maryland and Iowa.
Football reporter Ian Murphy tells us why with the highlights. Ian?
Maryland was never quite in contention, but the Terrapins might have raised the Hawkeyes' heart rate late in the game. However, Iowa came away with a 31-15 victory to move to 8-0 on the season Saturday night. The Hawkeyes got ahead early and held on to the lead thanks in large part to their stable of effective running backs, even without number 1 back Jordan Canzeri. A fumble by Maryland's Brandon Ross set up a 1-yard touchdown run by LaShawn Daniels Jr., who himself returned from an injury to give the Hawkeyes a 7-0 lead. After Tavon Smith drew a pass interference call, Akram Wadley punched the ball in from 11 yards out midway through the second quarter to give the Hawkeyes a 14-0 lead. Punting out of their own end zone, Maryland gave the Hawkeyes great field position after Nicholas Pritchard's poor punt. The Hawkeyes would capitalize just a few plays later as Derek Mitchell punched the ball in from 1 yard out. It was Mitchell's only carry of the game, but it did give all three running backs on the Hawkeye depth chart a touchdown. And late in the second half, down 24-7, but driving, Maryland learned what most Iowa opponents have this season: don't throw at the king. Desmond King took Perry Hill's pass 88 yards the other way for a touchdown. It was King's 7th interception of the season, tied for the most in the country. With a 31-7 lead, the Hawkeyes perhaps got their biggest scare when dangerous return man William Likely took the ball back all the way for a touchdown. It exposed a larger problem on the Hawkeyes' special teams as Marshall Kane had already made 2 tackles on kick returns in the game. The Hawkeyes will take on Indiana next weekend in Bloomington, looking for their first 9-0 start since 2009. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Ian Murphy.
There was one specific running back who contributed to that 31 points for Iowa.
It's been a long first half of the season for this player, and a comeback was overly due. Taylor Brooks has more.
Overcoming an injury for any player is something you must do mentally and physically. And for Iowa running back LaShawn Daniels Jr., he came into Saturday's game against Maryland looking for that mental and physical push. And Daniels got exactly that with a touchdown to go along with it. The key to Daniels' recovery came down to patience.
I mean, you always want to go out there and play. You always want to go out and contribute to the team, but sometimes it might not be in the best interest of yourself and also the team. So I had to learn to be patient. Go through treatment and stuff like that until my ankle was completely right.
A trait well learned by the junior, but Daniels was always rooting from the sidelines.
We're always pulling for one another, and to see them go out and make plays like that, it gives me a confidence boost, gives everyone a confidence boost.
Daniels shined against Maryland, grabbing his first career touchdown of this season and his second of his career.
Certainly one of the best things I saw. It looked like LaShawn was back to being LaShawn Daniels again, and we haven't seen that in a while, so that was really refreshing.
Daniels wasn't the only running back with a touchdown. Derek Mitchell Jr. and Akram Wadley showed how deep Iowa's backs are by each scoring a touchdown.
Hopefully Akram's on the upward path now. Seems like he's practicing really well and concentrating the way you hope. Derek Mitchell again's kind of the wild card, but it looks like he's really moving along too. So it's all good. We'll never have too many weapons. I know that.
There was still one missing though. Senior Jordan Canzeri sadly wasn't in the mix on Saturday, but stayed heavily involved from the sideline. Jordan Canzeri is still questionable as he wasn't dressed at all against Maryland, but once he returns, Iowa could have 4 deadly running backs. Reporting inside Kinnick Stadium, Taylor Brooks, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
As the Big Ten schedule will continue for Iowa, nothing gets easier from here on out.
Especially when they head to Indiana next weekend.
With Iowa's win, it kept them secured at number 10 in the AP Top 25 college football poll.
But Week 10 will be an interesting one, especially for number 1, Ohio State.
That's right, Ashlyn. Their starting quarterback, JT Barrett, has been suspended 1 game due to an arrest on a DUI charge late Friday night.
No, that's not good for Ohio State. But that will do it for Alyssa and I on this Sunday edition of Fifth Quarter. Back to you guys at the desk.